Oh yes, E3, what a show. Electronic Entertainment Expo, the biggest game show when it comes down to reveals and announcements from all the publishers, all the big game companies out there. And today I'm here to talk about one of these games, in this case the new Mass Effect. So welcome to everything we know about Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda will set us in a whole new galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy as the title of the game suggests. We will drive a new and improved Mako as well as visit different planets. It was said very early in the very early development stages of the new Mass Effect game that the focus of the game is supposed to be on exploration and upon really this feeling that Mass Effect 1 had to it, where the Reaper War was not as present yet and everything was new, everything was out to be discovered and so on. The main idea behind the new galaxy thing, and that is a hypothesis of me, so don't take that for granted, but I think the main idea in terms of what the developers thought was to get away from the original Mass Effect narrative, the background story, the characters, and especially the big scale on which Mass Effect worked, and the staked odds of the Reaper War, which the previous games obviously had common with them. To basically start with a clean slate and with a new uncompromised focus on the very important things that they wanted to further focus on in the new Mass Effect games. We will be able to have a whole new crew according to the developers, and we will be able to go on adventures with them as well as make friends and have romance options as we are obviously used to from Bioware games. You will be playing as a human male and female, again. Yeah, I said that already in my E3 highlights of E3 video. I'm not a big fan of that. Personally, I'm a little bit disappointed that we couldn't play an Asari, for example, who has kind of the same voice than a human female, or a Turian, which only needs slight modifications in voice. I understand that it's a high cost for the voice actors and everything else, but they could have found solutions to allow us to play other races, especially since we saw a Krogan in the new Mass Effect trailer just shortly. Anyway, moving on. Mass Effect Andromeda is set to hit PC, PS4 and XboxOne in holiday 2016, and according to the developers we will get more infos on the game later this year. In terms of how they go for the clean slate and everything, I am really not sure what they will be doing and how far they will be going in terms of the familiarity of the universe. We have been seeing Krogan in the trailer. We have been shown the N7 logo as well as being told that we will be playing as humans in the information we got from E3. The question is how they got how those species got to the Andromeda Galaxy, since travel between galaxies wasn't a possibility in the previous Mass Effect game. So I wonder how they explain that exactly. I hope it's not space magic, of course, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's hope that Bioware actually sticks to satisfying the questions and having some interesting and clever explanations to all those questions we do obviously have, and that they don't ignore the basic questions of how this all happened and how it's possible that they're in the Andromeda Galaxy and just ignore it throughout the whole game. I would really be very disappointed if they would just do that. There needs to be some explanation to it, and to be honest, I'm not really sure how they would pull that off without mentioning the Shepard trilogy, and they want to distance themselves from it. At least it seems like it from what they are doing. Unfortunately, that is about all we do know about Mass Effect Andromeda, which means that we now have to go to the rumors. This is very interesting. Normally, I'm not a fan of rumors and I'm not spreading them. But considering the latest reveal at E3 actually confirmed some of the specific rumors that were leaked, supposedly, of Mass Effect Andromeda, especially also the title of the game and where it plays, and considering that that actual informations, which turned out to be true, of Dragon Age Inquisition did also leak in the same way, I'm going to go into details with these rumors, talk a little bit about what might be realistic, what is not realistic, what we can expect, and what I like about it and what I don't. So, the supposed leak comes from a survey that someone took online and found very interesting details in. According to the survey, the context of the next Mass Effect is supposed to be playing in the Helios cluster of the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a cluster of 100 solar system. The Andromeda Galaxy is already confirmed, as we know, and what I find interesting, should this piece of information be legit, is that it actually plays only in one of the clusters of the galaxy. Now, what this means is not that the game will be smaller, because we do know that the game will be 4 times larger. The rumors say that the game will be 4 times larger than Mass Effect 3, and I can imagine that, because if you imagine you have a cluster of 100 solar systems and you can visit a lot of them, then that is a lot of room to cover and a lot more than we had in previous Mass Effect games. Now, what I find interesting is that it makes real sense that it only plays in a cluster, because it actually indicates that the humans which are living in this galaxy are not able to make huge Mass Effect jumps. Considering the Reapers are responsible for the building of the mass relays, that is a very reasonable assumption. And that means that those people probably can't jump between clusters of the galaxy, and that they will need time to go from one end of the cluster to the other end of the cluster, since they probably only have faster than light travel methods. The question, however, is of course how a galaxy without the Reapers is so far back in terms of technological advancement. Well, one explanation could be, and I think that might be the easiest explanation, for which they will probably go, that since the Reapers sped up the cycles, or which would normally take billions of years to develop that kind of technology, and they sped it up to 50,000 years, it means that the Milky Way civilization actually developed a lot faster than it would be natural for them to develop. Which means in the end that the other galaxies, depending on when they were actually, appeared, the galaxies, when they were actually forming, and when life formed on specific planets, that the other galaxy does develop in a normal way, meaning that they have a slower speed of technological advancement. God. Okay. Yeah. Going on with the leaked rumors, your protagonist is supposed to be a so-called Pathfinder, which is a combat-trained but untested explorer who is supposed to find a new home for humanity in the Helios cluster. So it seems he is kind of like a pioneer in this section, and he's going there and looking, are there any hostile species, on which planets can we settle down, and so on and so on. The world is supposed to be, 4 times larger, I already mentioned it, and your mission is to collect resources and build colonies while alien life forms and cutthroat outlaws threaten your goals and make survival in this new cluster hard, of course. The progress of the game is supposed to be built on increasing the arsenal you have, getting new crew members, improving your ship, getting and upgrading settlements, as well as making strategic alliances, which I find very interesting and might somehow figure into the choice and consequences system of the previous Mass Effect games. It might also be that we this time around have some kind of faction system where we can actually ally with some of the already settled down species which are in this Helios cluster of the Andromeda galaxy. That might be how this all turns out to be, if the rumors are true, of course. Along the way, you will also encounter the remains of a once powerful and mysterious alien race. I kind of wonder how they disappeared, huh? Maybe it has something to do with individuals that we are unable to comprehend. I hope not. The race is called Remnants, and their forgotten technology is supposed to be the key to dominance in this region of the galaxy. So that's very interesting, because I have to stop here and ask myself, isn't that exactly what the Protheans were like for the Milky Way species? There are undeniable similarities here, up to a point where it is almost unbelievable. So here's hoping they build in some, if they really do that they build in some differences in the backstory of those remnants. I don't want to have just a copy and paste Prothean civilization. That's something that would be very, very disappointing. Rumors furthermore say you will have 7 distinct crew members who will fight on your side. A little bit small, if you consider that the squad in Mass Effect 2 was almost, I think, double the size. Anyway, you will again be able to take 2 of them with you on missions, which sounds reasonable, I guess. The rumors even mention 2 names. Cora, who is supposed to have a biotic shield bubble as an ability to deflect any attacks from the outside, but allow us to shoot from the inside. It kind of sounds like the biotic field that we had in the Collector's Mission of Mass Effect 2. And then there is a Krogan who is called Drag. Well, sounds like a Krogan name. Everything I heard and I read so far does really seem to be your typical standard Mass Effect formula. The rumors go on to say that the Helix cluster develops in response to your actions and choices, which could be an interesting thing. Considering that this didn't really happen that much in the previous Mass Effect games. Yeah, things changed, but they did more change on basic level, on a numerous level, as in your choices will have consequences somewhere down the line where someone confronts you about it or something like that. Would be interesting if the whole not the environment, but the settlements and the folks there actually change in response to what you do. There are also loyalty missions, and the rumors seem to talk a little bit about how dialogue affects your relationship to squad mates, but that seems to be something that previous Mass Effect games had as well, so there's nothing new here. They also mentioned a mission type called Deployed Strike Team missions, in which you can spend resources to establish teams and hire mercenaries to protect your colonies from raiders and pirates and stuff like that. It kind of sounds, the way they describe it, like a mini game that works like the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood mini games we had in in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Revelations, and so on in the previous AZ games. Then there are so-called active strike team missions, which is kind of apparently where multiplayer comes in, where we should be able to tackle the mission ourselves if we want to, with our multiplayer characters. So we will be able to do that solo with our multiplayer characters, or with up to 3 friends in co-op. Also, it will work probably like multiplayer horde mode, which is supposed to be also available in Mass Effect, according to the rumors. The guy who spread those rumors also goes on to state that the settlements will be responsible for getting resources if they focus on mining, or they will remove the fog of war from the galaxy map. In this case, maybe fog of exploration, huh? If you have settlements which are called scouting settlements, so settlements are supposed to be somehow specialized. Here, the dialogue is also said to have more distinct options for us, as well as more action-based choices, as we know them from previous Mass Effect games, which were started mainly from Mass Effect 2 on and were very heavy in Mass Effect 3. Now here's a point that I'm very hesitant to believe. According to the writer of the leaked information, he claims that flying the spaceship as well as landing on planets with the Mako and exploring all happens without any loading screen, so it's a seamless world apparently. And that is very, very hard to believe. Not because it is completely impossible, but because if you think about it, in order for this stuff to be really seamless, you would have to show a crazy shit ton of details, considering you are flying in space at one time, flying around there, engaging in planets, seeing those planets from above, and then you're going into the atmosphere and going down, and that is supposed to be all seamless without any loading screens, and I kind of can't believe that really. Especially considering what we had in the last Mass Effect games. Seamless open world, yeah, The Witcher, we saw that and it was amazing and it was impressive, but doing that on a galactic scale, on the scale of planets and solar systems, is a whole other thing, and that is something I can't believe it. What I can believe, however, is that we are able to customize our crew's appearance now again, like the clothes and the equipment. That would be pretty cool if that would really be back, since I really missed it since Mass Effect 1. I like that Mass Effect 2 and 3 allowed you to customize your several armors with colors and stuff like that, and that there was more customization again in Mass Effect 3 considering your weapons. But still, I would have really liked to still customize my squad mates in specific ways, so that would be cool if that really returned. They also mentioned something called Remnant Vault Raids, which kind of seem like you have to find the artifacts of this precursor civilization, the Remnants, in specific vaults, which are of course dangerous and have defenses. I imagine them kind of like dungeons maybe, or dungeons set in the Mass Effect universe, something like that, where you have to fight your way out to get this specific part of technology that you actually want to have. So supposedly you are also able to discover so-called cat outposts all across the galaxy, and those are supposed to be some kind of resistance. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that all sounds way too similar to what we had in the previous Mass Effect games. I mean, Cav, Gav, Protheans, which sound exactly like Remnants, which sound exactly like the Protheans. I don't know. I really don't know if I if I believe those rumors, and if those rumors are really true, I don't know what Bioware are thinking, to be honest. I mean, the same races, yes, sure, using similar technology, using the background lore of the universe, yes, but actually going on and doing things that are so similar to what we had in the last games. Even if the systems are more improved, if they're more interactive, and maybe even somehow we get randomly generated environment, I don't care, it all sounds too similar on the basic lines. So I hope that there will be some surprises down the line, and that some of those rumors are not true in the end, and that this was only something they were kind of experimenting with or using as background lore to give someone just a general idea of how the feeling of a Mass Effect game is. What I do know is that some of this information might be right, some might be wrong. Some was already confirmed, such as the name of the game and the setting, and that we will play a human again. But what does it mean for Mass Effect on a large scale? Well, it means a lot of things, but mainly it seems to come down to some basic things, such as they absolutely want nothing to do with the original trilogy. Their focus is on a smaller scale, building some kind of sense of exploration and new in a familiar universe, and put down the stakes a little bit from the whole Reaper War conflict thing. And last but not least, it comes down to a lot of same old, at least from what the rumors say, and also from what we saw in the short preview on E3 and what we heard from the developers. It's supposed to be something very similar, and all this information seems very, very similar to what we had in previous Mass Effect games. Is that good for Mass Effect? I don't know exactly, and I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that I hope they will have some variation in there, that they have some stuff that is new, and that the background lore is not all copy and paste from what we already had in the original trilogy. I really hope that. Mass Effect will be hitting the shelves, as I said, holiday 2016, so we have a lot of time for media exposure and a lot of time maybe for Bioware to still build in features they want to build in and that are new and refreshing for the franchise. So I hope they do that, and well, that's it for today. All information on Mass Effect Andromeda and all rumors that we heard so far that might be true, don't have to be, consider that. My name's been SneakyDexter, and I hope you enjoyed this little information wrap-up of mine. I don't know when I put this up, but I'm probably going to do it soon. If you like my videos and want to see more of my content, subscribe to my channel. Also hit me on Twitter, the link is in the description down below. See you guys soon.